So you had some walkouts yesterday. I guess Olathe Northwest had another one yesterday after a kid got jumped last Friday outside of Olathe Northwest for protesting the anti-ICE protests. I didn't hear anything out of Olathe Northwest, so it's good to hear no one got beat up yesterday. Just a bunch of kids who, don't want to do math and learn how to read and write and things like that. The things that actually matter. But then we also had a middle school in Olathe that had a walkout that didn't get any attention in the news yesterday. But this is happening, sadly, all across the region, all over the country for that matter. So an Olathe Middle School has this walkout yesterday, and, we know some of the people involved in the school. So we got some intel as to what exactly happened. So I know some of the people. Mark knows some of the people. What do we have on the details on this front, Mark, and where this all went?
Yeah, so from my inside source, they said that the attendance, so they did the walkout during 7th hour. They left halfway through the last class of the day, and the teachers didn't take attendance until halfway through class, so those students would be counted as absent. So the teachers were trying to be proactive about
So respect for the teachers.
Yes.
Who basically said, we're not going to let you check in and be present for class. Yep. When we know you're going to walk out halfway through for your little walkout.
Working the system.
Yeah, good for the teachers. That's a great job. Great job by the teachers. I know people are looking for a reason to lump the teachers into all of this. But you know what? When we get great news like that, I want to make sure that we share it here on the show. That's a testament to those teachers.
So the kids decided to walk out, and they were going to do their protest in the open field by the busy road, I guess you could say. And they encountered some adults that were not happy with what they were doing. The kids, I guess, were told to go back to effing class. There were some middle fingers thrown from the adults toward the kids. And then they decided to move their protest from there to the track. And they marched around the track, I guess, for a while. So they kind of got thrown off on their protest.
Okay. I am even more disappointed in the adults than the kids. Mm-hmm. If you are an adult and you are showing up to a middle school to protest a bunch of 13-year-olds, get a life. I mean, get a life. Find a hobby. It's the same thing I say to the people standing out there every Saturday protesting ICE at whatever that is, 435 and 87th Street in Lenexa. Get a life. Find something to do with yourself. Go volunteer at a nonprofit. Get involved with your church. There's something for you to do that doesn't involve yelling at 13-year-olds, okay? I'm even more disappointed in the parents. Or not, I don't even know if they're parents. They're just adults who are out there yelling at middle schoolers and flipping them off and dropping F-bombs. Are you kidding me? Wow. That is beyond disappointing. You want to go protest adults, that's one thing. If you're kids who want to protest your fellow students, that's one thing. If you just show up, what time would this have been? 2 o'clock in the afternoon, give or take?
Around 3, I think.
What are you doing? Go get a job. I guess you could work like us where you have an early shift. But, man, you have got to find something better to do with your time than protesting middle schoolers as a grown man and a grown woman.
I know, people don't even stand up what they're for. It's like, you don't protest against the people protesting. You protest the opposite of what they're protesting, not them, their viewpoint.
Yeah, especially
ridiculous.
When they're kids.
Well, yeah, and not even against kids, to your point.
Yeah, they're children, man. They're
but even when you're
schoolers.
Don't show up and point at the blue hair. Just have your opinion. Yeah, go Trump.
Yeah, that's true.
And like we said yesterday, these kids were going to do it last week, and then it was too cold, so they don't really even know what they're protesting.
Well, of course. They half the kids haven't gone through puberty yet. Of course they don't know what they're doing. So just let them be. If you want to have beef with someone, have beef with, like we've talked about, an administration, a superintendent that has been very lackadaisical, it seems like, in this process and has allowed the inmates to run the asylum. And even the teachers, I can't get on the teachers. If Mark's sources are correct, and I have no reason to believe that they're not, they made sure that these kids were marked absent, which is all the teachers can do. If you want to take it further, you've got to get the principal involved. You've got to get the superintendent involved. The teachers did everything they could do, it seems like, in that moment. I mean, there's only so much that they have power over. And I have the utmost respect for them in using their power to say, you know what, at the very least, I'm going to make sure you're marked absent for this. So good for them.
Yeah, if you're trying to teach them government lessons, so my kids got like a picture ID when they were in school, right? You get a photo ID, right? Have them register to vote. Maybe you're voting the principal out. Just have fun. Show them how an election works.
Voting out the principal.
Yeah, right?
How many of them would do that?
Let's elect the custodian as the head of the school.
Yeah.
That's something they could get behind.
Well, in some cases, probably would do a better job at the custodian. Wow. Okay.
He may not need the pay cut.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'll tell you what, that's something else. That is so disappointing to hear, but nothing really shocks me anymore. We are in an insane environment right now, especially with this issue in particular. 913-408-7957 is the text line and the studio line here on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM, streaming all morning long, of course, on the KCMO Talk Radio app, the TuneIn app, and the iHeart app. So if you missed it, we started off the show this morning talking about how the mayor pro tem in Kansas City is under investigation by the FBI. That's Rihanna Park Shaw and her husband, the director of public works, Michael Shaw. Mayor Lucas told us last hour that he knows absolutely nothing about it. He has not been interviewed by the FBI. As he said somewhat jokingly, he wants to keep it that way. But this is someone who wants to be the next mayor in Kansas City. She has announced a mayoral bid. And it's always been, to me, a conflict of interest when you have someone in the city council voting on her husband's budget. And now, according to Fox 4, the director of public works has been soliciting donors for her campaign with maybe a little wink, wink, nod, nod of how can I help you if you do donate to the cause. And to be clear, this is not like a Trump DOJ going after a blue city. This investigation from the FBI has been going on in Kansas City per Fox 4 since January of 25, when the last guy was around. But that is absolutely something that we've got to keep an eye on here on KCMO Talk Radio.